Check out Navin Lalo Streaming Network for all your streaming needs. We provide multiple angles, video and photo slides, clean audio, recording a full live stream. Contact us at 335-0205. Remember the name, Navin Lalo Streaming Network, bringing real-time events to you.
For all your live events, make sure to choose Swanky Lights, where we specialize in all your lighting needs. Contact us at 358-9305. Swanky Lights.
भगवन किरण दिखा दे।
कदम कदम पर किरण दिखा दे, भगवन किरण दिखा दे।
इन अखियों की प्रभु करा दे।
इन अखियों की प्रभु करा दे।
ज्योति से पहचान,
ज्योति से पहचान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
हम तो है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी।
हम तो है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी।
तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी।
तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी।
दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी,
दुनिया है सुखी हमारी।
ऐसा दे वरदान,
ऐसा दे वरदान।
आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
जिनके लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब का यार सारे सभी है पराए।
जिनके लिए तूने महल सजाए, मतलब का यार सारे सभी है पराए।
कितना तूने दुख झेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना। नेकी करम कर ले, दुनिया से डरना।
काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना। नेकी करम कर ले, दुनिया से डरना।
पाप की अगिन में खुद को, पाप की अगिन में खुद को काहे को धकेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
हरि की शरण तू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले। जीवन मिले ना फिर ये जीवन को पाले।
आए की शरण तो हो जा, ज्ञान लगा ले। जीवन मिले न फिर ये जीवन को पाले।
खेल जगत का सारा, खेल जगत का सारा उसी ने है खेला।
2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला।
ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा। अब चल कर ले मिलन, परमानंद का अनुभव कर। ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। ज्योति बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु में चल आज नहा ले, परम पिता का प्रेम पात्र बनकर तू शुभ वर पाले। ओ किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, ओ किरण किरण को निरख नयन से, हो जा मन में मगन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, 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 अब चल कर ले मिलन।
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
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 हरि केशव हरि गोविंद 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 हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि केशव हरि गोविंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि केशव हरि गोविंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरिओ,
हरि सुंदर
गोवर्धन गिरवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
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 हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरिओ
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ
हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ
हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ
आओ रे गाओ रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आओ रे गाओ रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आओ रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आओ रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे
आओ रे नाचो रे हास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
गाओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
गाओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ
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 हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा 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 हरि नारायण हरिओ
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा 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 हरि नारायण हरिओ
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरवरधारी
वनमाली
तिलकं च महापुण्यं पवित्रं पापनाशनम् आपदाहरते नित्यं ललाटे हरिचन्दनम् ॐ श्री तिलकं च महापुण्यं पवित्रं पापनाशनम् आपदाहरते नित्यं ललाटे हरिचन्दनम् हरिभक्कल्याण भगवान वत्सलम् भावपूरितं प्रतिगृहीतम्. All right. You do this. All your touch hands with him, right? प्रेम से बोलिए श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है. My dear sympathizers, we all assembled in this pious and humble home this afternoon to bid farewell to a most noble and senior citizen of this community who has passed away into transition, the late Mr. Ramdeo Dookeram. We live on this planet Earth which is called the Mrityu Lok. The word Mrityu means death and Lok is planet. Once the soul comes into a body, the only short thing it have in life, one day you have to leave it. He has been a blessed soul, having thus crossed his 80 years of age, okay, because we were here that day when he celebrated that 80th birthday. And it was beautiful of the family to come together to allow him to give thanks and praise to the Lord on this occasion. We did expect, and I told him, I said, we have to come back and celebrate the century with you. But again, man proposes, but the Lord disposes. Everything is in the hands of the Lord. In Sanatan Dharma, we are really supposed to observe and carry out 16 rites or rituals which are called sanskars. And they really should begin before a mother conceives a babe. Even whilst in pregnancy, there are certain rites and rituals. When a baby is born, rites and rituals. As you grow up, the name sanskar is one. You have various sanskars that are performed. One of the major ones as we go along in life is the marriage ceremony, which is the Vivaha Sanskar. And you have others that will bring it to 16 in number, which all those are not practiced in Trinidad again. It ends with the final one, which is called the Antyesti Sanskar. If you watch on your pamphlet there, you will see the word Antyesti. Antyesti is really when the soul has left the body, when you prepare the body for disposal, which is the funeral rites. So we are all here today to perform this Antyesti Sanskar, or the funeral rites of the late Mr. Ramdeo Dookeram, who has passed away into transition. As I said, this is planet Earth, which is called Mrityu Lok. Once we are born, you book it. One short thing in life, you have to leave this body one day. However, the Lord consoles us in that. He says we do not identify with the body, but the Atma or the soul. And the Atma or the soul is part and parcel of the Lord that is indestructible. So although the body has gone, but the soul continues to live on, as I'll explain later. So we are here, and again, he is very blessed not to have one son, or one person, in fact, to do the rite and rituals, but 7 of them have assembled here today. And that shows the caliber of personality that he was. Okay? That you all will find it nothing too difficult to do on behalf of your father, your grandfather, and so on. Very blessed to you all. So I want to ask you at this time, let us stand, please. If for any reason you can't stand, stay seated, as we ask the Lord's mercy upon the Atma or the soul. In the heavenly sphere, you are not on earth by guess or coincidence, due to karma blessed in this human body. And you have what you call in the heavenly sphere, your personal Akashic record. So you want this Antyesti Sanskar you are going to do on behalf of your late father, grandfather, to be documented up there. Take your correct name, his correct name, meditate on Lord Vishnu, and ask the Lord to document in your Akashic records in the heaven this Antyesti Sanskar. Hari Om Tat Sat Tat Sat Tat Sat Shrimad Bhagavate Mahapurushaye Vishnu Ragya Pravatamanasya आद्य ब्राह्मण द्वितीय पराधे विष्णुपदे श्री स्वेद्वादाह कल्पे वैवस्वनवंतरे अष्टविंशतितमे कलियुगे कलि प्रथम चरणे वेस्ट इंडीज खंडे ट्रिनिडाद देशे 20 ग्राम से ओब्रायन ट्रेस नगरे से राक्षसनाम सनवस्त्रे श्री सूर्य दक्षिणायन श्रावण मासे कृष्ण पक्षे चतुर्थी तिथि श्री शनिवारे षड्विशा नक्षत्र कुंभ राशि नाना भक्त्य योनिम हिज नेम अमुक प्रीतस्य अंत्येष्टि संस्कार करिष्ये नमः। प्रेम से बोलिए श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय। Please sit right anywhere here and you bow. Hand them a flower from each. We join in praises to the Lord. What is important at this time is prayer. We ask the Lord's mercy upon that Atma or the soul. Hold a flower and clasp your hands and join in prayer. Hari Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Shuresham Veshwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Megavaranam Subhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Viridhyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhaubhaiharam Sarvalokaikanaatham Mahavishnu Bhagavan Daya Raksha Kshama Karo. Bolo Sri Ram Naam Satya Hai Sab Hi Ho Ghat Hai. Please sit there and bow. Kindly be seated. Hari Om Bhagavan Vatsalam. All right, what we are going to do now, they will touch hands with you. Whatever you're doing, they will, unless I advise them to do it individually, right? You're sprinkling water on the body, right? Go ahead. Touch hands with him, one another. Hari Om Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Snanang Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam Snanang Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Om Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Pretasva Hari Om Sri Snanang Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Very good. Holy Lota, please. Right. With the index finger, with the ring, put a nice neat chandan on the center of the forehead, and all of you will do the same on the same spot. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Hari Om Sri Chandanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam Chandanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Om Madhyamukha Gotrasya Amukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Om Sri Atarmayadiyate Vopatishtatam Hari Om Chandanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Adhyamuk, okay. Each one of you will offer mala now. Starting with him. Right. Burst it, eh? Om Adhyamukha Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Pushpamala Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam Pushpamala Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Pushpamala Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Bhagavan Vatsalam Mama Pujitam Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Pushpamala Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Hari Om Sri Ram Nam Satya Hai Sab Hi Ho Ghat Hai. Each one of you will offer some perfume. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Atarmayadiyate Vopatishtatam Atarmayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit Atarmayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Hari Om Sri Atarmayadiyate Vopatishtatam. After you finish 5 rounds. Yeah, 5 rounds. Don't did actually. Right, slowly, okay? You do arti now. Adhyamu gotrasya mukha pretasya. Come here, please, here. Britistane shaunimit deepanam mayadiyate vopatishtatam. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyo ko dukh dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, और कोई न खेवनहारा हो, तब तू ही बेड़ा पार करो, तब तू ही बेड़ा पार करो. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा. जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, फिर जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. I'm wrong. What's your name? कृष्ण हरे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. ओम ध्यामु गोत्रस्य मुख प्रेतस्य. That's fine. You want to check them? How much are you? Huh? What? 7 times already? Yeah? You sure, right? But yeah, I thought you checked it. 5, yeah. Hari Om Adhyamu. Which one? This one. All right, go ahead. Adhyamu gotrasya mukha pretasya amritistane shaunavit. Hari Om Shri Mayadiyati vopatishtatam. Mayadiyati vopatishtatam. Sri Vishnuve Namaha. Hari Bhakt Kalyan. God bless. Just rest the dear, please. Right. Okay, I want you to get access to his hand, the right hand. You have to offer a pinda there. Take a pinda from me with a piece of goose grass and black tail on it. All offerings are made now through your thumb and your index finger here, right? So you're going to offer that pinda like that when I tell you. Take a piece of grass and him pinda. Grass and black tail. Yeah, right, yeah. Om Adhyamu gotrasya mukha pretasya mritistane shaunamit ishatu pindo mayadiyativo patishtatam. Offer it in his hand. Right. Now take this. Yeah, don't cover it yet. When I tell just now it, you offer some water with it. Adhyamu gotrasya mukha pretasya. That pass between the thumb and the next finger. Telanjasyo mayadiyate vopatishtatam. Cover. Bolo Shri Ram Naam. Cover it back. Shri Ram Naam Satya hai. Suppose I have a tulsi leaf around. Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya bretistane shaunamit. Hari Om. Put this across his lip. Tulsi dalani mayadiyate vopatishtatam. maya diyate vopatishtatam Hari bhakalyan Narayan bhakti kevalam mama pujitam. No, you need this. Hanam that there. Okay. We are now have entered the Panchak period, which are, hold this please. Right. You all come on this side here and touch hands with him. Come on this side. Let him. You want to face so you prepare. All right. The Panchak period is the 5. They have the zodiacal belt, right? Relates to what you call Panchak. And when there is death in Panchak or cremation in Panchak, there's a special ritual. So you're going to tell it. Let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because right. Okay? Hari Om. Om Vaso Pavitramasi Shatadharang Vaso Pavitramasi Sahastradharang Devasya ko Savita Punatu ko Vaso Hari Om Pavitrena ko Hari Om Shatadharun ko Supavaku Kamadhuksha Om Vasubhya Namaha Om Predvahaya Namaha. Go ahead. Om Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti. Hari Om Varunastom Varamasi Varunasya Skamsar Jarnisto Varunasya Riti Sadanyasi Varunasya Riti Sadanmasi Varunasya Riti Sadanmasi Om Varunai Namaha Pret Sankhyaye Namaha Om Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti. Third one. Om Utano ko hi Bhudanya ko Srinotvaj ko Ekapat ko Prithvi ko Samudraha Vishwadevarita ko Bridho ko Huana Nartuta ko Mantraha ka Vishwastha ko Avantu Ajaika ko Padai Namaha Pretpai Namaha Om Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti. Fourth one. Om Shivo Namasi ko Swadhi Tistate Pita Namaste Astu ko Mamahi ko Gungsi Divart ko Yapaya Yushve ko Nadhyay Hari Om Sri Prajanay ko Raya ko Shoshai ko Supra Jasuay ko Suvirnay Om Ahirbundhenyay Namaha Preta Bhumi Pai Namaha Om Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti. Fifth one. Om Pushang Tabrati ko Yatra ko Rishi ko Makudachan Stotaras ko Ihabasi ko Pushne Namaha Pret Harte Namaha Om Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti Panchak Shanti. Touch the chariot at your forehead. Okay, hold it somewhere. All right, take the first one. Place it by the head here. Hari Om. Second one between the arms. Next one on the other side. One on the table. And place the other one here between the legs. Bolo Shri Ram Nam Satya Hai Sabai Ghata Hai. Shikodi Braktil here. Yeah, that's empty Haryana, right? You can rest it over there for a while. Okay, you can hold hand, bring her. Hari Om Narayanaye Bhakti Kevalam Mama Pujitam Pratigritam. With this finger, put a chandan on his forehead. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Pretatva Om Sri Chandanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Yeah, put a mala for him now. Om Madhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya. Bring your sense for me. Om Sri Pushpa Mala Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. A little perfume. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya. Pretatva Nivaranar Sargati Vinashar Praptikam. Om Sri Gandhanang Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Rest it. You can rest it right here. Make arti for him. Adhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistane Shaunamit. Hari Om Sri Deepanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Deepanam Mayadiyate Vopatishtatam. Just hold it for her. बोलो श्री राम नाम सत्य है, सब ही हो घट है. At this time, we want to invite immediate members of the family who would like to come and pay their respect. Really, if you have daughters who are married, you do make arati and so on, you could offer a flower, right? Grandchildren and so on can come and pay your respects. Immediate members of the family. Daughters-in-law, right? Please, you will come at this time. Hari Om. Well, you could do it. Ready? You can Om Madhyamu Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritistani Shaunamit Hari Om Sri Mayadiyatevo Patishtatam. Whilst they are paying their respects, we join in bhajan. Bhajans, devotees, are devotional songs which bring messages. The thing about it is, most of these bhajans tend to be sung at the time of funerals and so on. But they are really meant for when you are alive, to know the purpose of your life upon this earth. Okay? Hari Om. The bhajan tells us that one day we all have to leave this world. Yeah. If they are married. Okay? Okay, one day we all have to leave this mortal coil. Be you the rich or the very poor, we come with our hands empty, we go with our hands empty. Be you the king or the beggar, the vagrant, death recognizes no indifference. We honestly study the scriptures to get over this issue of death, which is so difficult. In the rough and treacherous waters of this world, the boat of life is thrown hither and thither. Only the pathway to God's consciousness makes this trip easier. एक दिन छूटे जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटे जाए संसार और एक दिन छूटे जाए संसार जिनके लाख पर दीप बरत है हो जिनके लाख पर दीप बरत है हो जाते वहाँ तपसार और जाते वहाँ तपसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार राजा रंक के काल नहीं चीन्हत राजा रंक के काल नहीं चीन्हत सबके करत आहार सबके करत आहार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु विधि पद वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु विधि पद कोई न पावत पार कोई न पावत पार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार और भवसागर में जीवन नैया हो भवसागर में जीवन नैया हो राम लगावे पार राम लगावे पार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार ओ एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार बोलो राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है
कर लो हरि से प्रेम उमरिया तोरे रहे कर लो हरि से प्रीत उमरिया तोरे रहे। जन्म जन्म की पुण्य प्रताप से, जन्म जन्म की पुण्य प्रताप से मानुष जन रहे जीत। ओ मेरी याद तोरे रहे। सत्संगत में मन नहीं भाए, सत्संगत में मन नहीं भाए। गाय दीवानी बीत उमरिया तोरे रहे। चार दिन की यही जिंदगानी, चार दिन की यही जिंदगानी सारी सारी जाई बीत उमरिया तोरे रहे। तुलसीदास प्रभु आस चरण की, तुलसीदास प्रभु आस चरण की कृपा करो जगदीश। उमरिया तोरे रहे। कर लो हरि से प्रीत उमरिया तोरे रहे। कर लो हरि से प्रीत उमरिया तोरे रहे।
मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम। मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम। लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो युगल चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम। मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम। जीवन देखे जाल बिछाया, रच की माया नाचन छाया। चिंता मेरे तवे मिटेगी, चिंता मेरे तवे मिटेगी। जब चिंतन में ले लो राम, ले लो राम। मुझे अपने शरण में ले लो राम। तुम्हने लाखों पापी तारी, मेरे बारी बाजी हारी, बाजी हारी। मेरे पासन पुण्य की पूजे, मेरे पासन पुण्य की पूजे। पद पूजन में ले लो राम, ले लो राम। मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। राम हे राम, राम हे राम। घर घर अत को दर दर भक्तो, कहाँ कहाँ अपना सिर पकतो। इस जीवन में मिलो न तुम तो राम, हे राम। इस जीवन में मिलो न तुम तो, मुझे मरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम। मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। श्री राम नाम सत्य है, सब ही हो घट है।
ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन। प्रभु की प्रार्थना का मूल मंत्र है ये संपूर्ण समर्पण, ये आत्मा चल प्रभु को सौंप दे, तू सारा जीवन हो देख प्रभु तेरे निकट विराज, कर ले अभिवंदन, ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन।
All these bhajans bring messages to us. This soul is trapped in this body just like a bird in a cage. You know, when you hear the bird whistling, you say the bird is Ramajain. Could you tell if the bird is happy or not? Put yourself in the bird's position and you'll see how it feels to be locked up inside. So too in life, we come with our kahani. Kahani means your life story, depending on your karmic situation. Hence why in life you'll see some people smiling, some are sad, right? People are smiling, but they are grinding. For everything depends on the logical law of the universe, the law of karma. What we plant exactly is what we are going to reap. Hari Om. Pinjari ke panchire तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, बाहर से तू खामोश रही तो भीतर भीतर रोई रे, भीतर भीतर रोई रे, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, पिंजरे के पंचेरे तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, कह न सके तो अपनी कहानी, तेरी भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे, विधि ने तेरी कथा लिखी, आंसू में कलमद बोए, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, पिंजरे के पंचेरे तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई. Any other members of the family, you want to come and pay your respects, you can do so. छुप के रोने वाले रखना छुपा के दिल के छाले रे, ये पत्थर का देश है पगले, कोई न तेरा होए, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, पिंजरे के पंचेरे तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई, तेरा दर्दन जाने कोई। राम नाम सत्य है, सब ही हो घत है।
मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार।
Anybody else want to come and pay your respects now? Please, you're welcome to do so.
वीर भग से यहाँ तन पायो, वीर भग से यहाँ तन पायो, यही है मुक्ति द्वार, यही है मुक्ति द्वार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार। दर्शन नैना हीर बरसना, दर्शन नैना हीर बरसना, हाथ से कर उपकार, हाथ से कर उपकार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार। भाव भजन भक्ति कब हुई है, भाव भजन भक्ति कब हुई है, सिर पर काल सवार, सिर पर कार सवार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार। गहरी नींदा चोदर प्राणी, गहरी नींदन चोदर प्राणी, कर कुछ तत्व विचार, कर कुछ तत्व विचार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार, मनुष्य तन नहीं बारंबार।
राम नाम सत्य है, सब ही घत है। We invite all others, if you wish to pay your respects at this time, please, you can come and do so. This body should not be wasted, for it's the highest body in God's creation of 8,400,000 species of life. Nobody belongs to anybody. You come alone, you go alone. Really, your father is not yours, neither mother, brother, sister, husband, wife. Nobody belongs to anybody. Only Mother Earth waits on us. The house and the land and all the assets and the nice things we kill ourselves for in this world, they remain right here. What is recommended? Always be in the holy environment of worship and adoration to the Lord, singing and chanting His divine praises. झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। एक पिता के हम सब लड़के, धरती हम रे माता। एक पिता के हम सब लड़के, धरती हम रे माता। कुटुंब कबीला संगन साथी, कुटुंब कबीला संगन साथी। काल डंक बजाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। दो दिन तो पहुनाई जगत में माया में भर माया दो दिन तो पहुनाई जगत में माया में भर माया धन दौलत कुछ का मनवावे धन दौलत कुछ का मनवावे छूट जाएंगी यह काया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया सतसंग की गंगा बही गए कोमल जिसका धारा करिय स्नान बिमल कर काया करिय स्नान बिमल कर काया पापिन पाप कराया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है My dear sympathizers, go ahead, man. You who have taken time off from your schedule of activities and is present here this afternoon, the amount of you here is testimony towards this, the goodwill of this noble individual who has passed away into consideration. Also again, probably he's like the chief of the village, in terms of his age. I've been born, bred, and grew up here in this area of Brian Trace and Beach and lived in this community, right? You all who are here, it shows testimony of the type of life that this elderly couple has lived. As I said, we live on this earth, which is called Mrityu Lok. Mrityu is death and Lok is planet. Once we are born, we have to die. However, the Lord gives us consolation in that we do not identify with the body, but with the Atma or the soul. And the soul is part and parcel of the Lord. So in a few verses of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord enlightens us as we listen. Hari Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagat Guru. Krishna Bhagwan bole ki he Arjun suno. Ya inang veti hantarang ya chaivanang manyato hatam ubhavatav na bijanito nanyang hantati hanyate. The Lord said that person who has gotten his third eye open and awakened the chakras and the kundalinis in this body, lifting the life force devotees to get the third eye open and can see that there's a difference between the body and the soul, and the soul is eternal. That individual has achieved the highest excellence of wisdom. Very important. Devotees, these two eyes can only see materialism. And all that is in materialism is like a dream. You believe it's true and real, but it's not. When the third eye is open, it goes beyond materialism and the sight is lifeless. And this is where you are able to realize that you are not this body, but you are the eternal consciousness of the Lord within you. That when it comes into you, it brings life in this body. And whilst it is there, you live. And when it has left, you have died. He says, Arjun, that person has the highest excellence of wisdom. Hari Om na jayate mriyati va kadachi trayang bhutava bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shastrayang puranur hanyate hanyamano shariram. He said this Atma or the soul is never born. Something that does not have a birth cannot die. It is the most ancient thing in the universe, the Atma or the soul. It's not that every time the Lord bestows a new body, that a new soul is put into the body. No. The soul, devotees, existed, is the most ancient thing. It's a karmic situation. The cycles of births and death keep moving along until we are blessed to get this human body. It existed before it came into the body. Whilst in the body and there's consciousness we could identify, But when it has left the body, it has not died. It continues to live on. He said, not even the body dies. See, but what are you saying? How the body does not die? Because the body is made up of 5 gross elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And we learn in school, matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So if the soul doesn't die and the body doesn't die, the philosophers say what we call death. It's a transition period where the soul moves from one state to another. And that's why in any Hindu funeral, you will notice that the coffin is rested 5 places on the ground, where a ritual is performed each time called a manzil before you actually dispose of the body. Every time this ritual is performed, with the first one beginning at the entrance, you ask the elements be released into its natural state. May fire go back to fire, water to water, air to air, earth to earth, etc. So the body does not die, the soul does not die. Why lament? Why grief, says the philosophers. You see, we should not wait until the moment of death to realize this. And the earlier in life you could realize there's a difference between body and soul, and work towards achieving an objective for which we are here, it will be better for us. For my dear sympathizers, in everybody's life, one day you will hear a knock. And when you answer the doorbell and you want to find out who is that knocking on your door, he said, my name is Jamdut. I am the messenger of death. You have to go today. And that don't have any issue of give me a week, please. I have some business to straighten out and things. You have to go any time come. So the wise always prepare. He said, tomorrow could be my last day. Let me do the best today. When tomorrow comes, it doesn't happen probably tomorrow, after tomorrow. Let me do the best. So really, what is our true purpose of life in this human body? Just 2 simple things. It's good to remember the Hindi terms. It's called par upakar. Par upakar. What does it mean? To serve the Lord and His creation with a guileless heart. What does it simplify to mean? Just with this body, just do good. As much as you could, whilst you could, when you could, as long as you could. Do not wait for an opportunity to come to you then to do the good. Get up and look for opportunities to do good with this body. This is what will benefit us. Your karmic situation. And if you can't do good, stay quiet. Don't do any bad. Right? You see, it's only when most times the soul leaves the body we see the difference. I'm sure nobody asked this morning or yesterday, what time Mr. Ramdeo is coming from the funeral home? Did anybody ask that question? You will never ask that question. You know what you'll ask? What time the body coming home? And you'll ask what time the body is coming. And why there's a difference now? Because the soul is no longer there in it. So if the body doesn't die and the soul does not die, here devotees are the importance of the after-death rituals in Hinduism. So, Lord Krishna continues, Hari Om, Vasasani Jirnati ko yatha ko vihai, Navani ko grihanati naruparani, Tatha ko sharirani, Vihai ko jirnanan yati, Sanyati ko navani dehi. He said, Arjuna asked the Lord, why it is life have to be like this? That when it's time to really sit down, relax after working your whole life in this world, you hear a knock on the door, it's time to go. So the Lord said, Arjuna, this body is like a suit of clothes. Being constantly worn, it becomes worn out. Then what do? We discard it to take on a new one. So too when this body, soul feels that the body is no longer able to upkeep it, it discards the body to take on a new one, dependent on the logical law, which is the law of karma. Okay? Now, what is the average lifespan of a human? We learn in the Western philosophy, 70. Okay, 70, 70 years. They say that's the average lifespan of a human. The Hindu counting of life of a lifespan is 1,007 full moons, which works out to be approximately 83.4 years. That's the average lifespan. Even the Bhagavad, the scripture tells you, the average lifespan of a human should really be 100 years. We all should live to be 100 years. Are we able to make that? He is great. He make 80 going 81. Right? You're also, she's in going 81 too, is it? What has caused that? Good karmas. We are not taking care of our health. Health is important, especially if you have a family of hereditary factors and so on. You have to look at it seriously. Right? You see, when you're young, you don't eat, drink, and marry. You have a good time. You don't study anything. It's when you get old and docs say, do this and don't do that, then you want to stop it. But these things have to be monitored from young growing up so that you can live to a nice, ripe old age. Now, I am telling you World Health statistics. World Health statistics show the eating of meat right now increases the risk of cancer by 18%. That's WHO statistics. Right? So think of it. We want to live long, you work hard, you grow old, you want to enjoy life. Look what happens. So he said, Arjun, nainang chidanti shastrani, nainang dahati pavaka, na chainang kalidayapo, na shoshayati maruta. He said, no weapon has been yet invented to destroy the soul. No amount of fire can burn it, and no amount of water can drown it. It is the most ancient thing. It existed before it came into the body, before mother becomes pregnant. Whilst in the body and there's life, you can identify with it. But when it leaves, it's still and die. And I'm telling you the importance now of the after-death rituals. Today, what is happening is that people want a shortcut. They want a package deal with funeral. We do the funeral and the shaving and the bhanda, everything one day. You don't have to do anything again. The soul does remain stuck in the spirit world until eternity. Right now, the soul having left the body, it enters into an aerial body the size of the thumb. You call it Angu Sharir. The soul is seeing everything that we're doing with this body right now. It's seen everything. Right? When the body is disposed of, it comes back to where it was most accustomed to the home. It lingers around. When you grieve, worry, and cry, it creates attachment. Now remember, the soul don't have a physical body again. The attachment, the emotions causes attachment to it. And since it doesn't have a physical body, it becomes very agitated. This is where prayed and being calm and all these things and so on, talking about the Lord's grace and so on, all this is important. That helps it. From tomorrow, the sun will begin to offer pinda, offering, and tarpan. Part of that pinda goes towards the formation of a new body which will form on the day of the shaving, 10 days from today. Okay? That new body is the size of the palm of the hand, called a cubit, an aerial body. So the soul drops the body of the thumb and enters the aerial body of the palm of the hand. And in this body, the soul is ready to go on its journey to the Lord. The journey begins when the Bhandara is done. When the Bhandara is completed, the soul leaves. The journey takes one celestial day, but a celestial day equals a human year. And that's why the Hindu home enters into a state of mourning for 1 year. During the course of the 1 year, the soul does get opportunity to stop and receive offerings that are made. Those are the monthly offerings called Masik Shrad. And before the 1 year will be completed, works out to be approximately 354 days, the Bhandara should be done to complete the journey of the Atma. After which it has to face the Lord as the judge. Nobody gets away. It's the law of karma. We have to answer for what we did with this body whilst we were here. And every good and every bad is documented. Because we all carry two invisible people on our shoulders. They're called Chitra and Goop. And they document every single thing you do. If you rob a man and nobody sees, you want to know how them fellas know that up there. Them document that. Due to the balance of karmas, you are destined to future body. Either the human or lower than the human. For there are 8,400,000 species of lives according to the statistics of Sanatan Dharam. They are divided into 4 categories called Andaj, Ukmaj, Pishtan, Pindaj, and Astarvar. Lives that are born from wombs, mammals. Lives that come from eggs. lives that are sweat-borne, microscopic and otherwise, and the plant kingdom. Due to karma, the body is the karmic ladder. We can go up or we can go down, or we can even cut asunder the cycles of births and death, where the soul merges in oneness with the Lord, which is really our objective. Okay? So it's important to know these things. Now, what is commendable with this family, and they must be praised? What is too difficult to do for a loved one? Right? This father came in with mother, they came into this world, they bring children, grandchildren, mind them, grow them up as big man, big lady. Is it too hard to do what you're supposed to do for him now? No. So commendations must go to all the family for taking the initiative to do everything humanly possible with guidance. Join your hands in prayer. Hari Om. Gita Ganga Chagayatri Sita Satya Saraswati Brahm Vidya Brahmavari Tri Sindhya Mukti Gehini Ardhamatra Chidananda Bhaudvani Bhainashini Veda Tri Parayanantra Tatvarta Jnana Manjari प्रेम से बोलिए श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है. Offer your flowers, dear and bow. At this time, we have a grandson, Brandon, who would like to tell us more about his late grandfather. We invite him, please, to come. Brandon. Brandon, where's you?
Sitaram, everybody. Sorrow fills our heart at this time, but today we are honoring, celebrating, and remembering the life of Ramdeo Dookeram. To many, he was known as Dos, but to us, the grandchildren, he was Papa. He was born to the parents Ajodha and Sukiya, but at an early age, he began living with his uncles Lal Mamu and Jimbo Mamu. He was a reflection of who they were. He was always there for them, being their provider and caregiver up until their last days. This trait remained with him throughout his life, as he was always a kind man, always willing to give, assist, and help whenever it was needed, even if you didn't ask for it. He was privileged to attend primary school, in which he was an A-class student, being the best at maths, history, and reading. He had aspirations of becoming a teacher, but was unable to do so due to poverty. Though later on in his life, he was able to become some sort of teacher to all of us. He would have taught us all valuable life lessons. At the age of 20, he journeyed to Ridge Road, San Pedro, where he met his Dolahin, Mangri. But to him, this was his lovey. Anyone can attest that every time he had a few drinks, he would come home and say, "Lovey, take off my socks." And all night, all you would hear is him saying, "Lovey this, lovey that." Their marriage was an ideal blueprint for any couple, as seen in their 60 years of marriage. 60 whole years of marriage. And many would say that where there is love, there is life. And this couple was blessed with 5 children: Moya, Bobby, Tiny, Indra, and Binti. He was also a father figure and a role model to many others, a role he took pride in. Papa was the type of father that never beat his children. You could ask anyone. But he would buff when necessary, and according to his children, this buff would do the job. He loved his grandchildren so much that even if we were wrong, he would still defend us from our parents. He always encouraged love amongst family and friends. And to those that knew Papa, they would know that he was big on family and unity. And if we were to have a wish here today, it would be for us to remain a family filled with love and unity. Being the hard worker that we know him to be, he had many different jobs during his life to support his family. He was a rice farmer, he worked at the quarry, he was an A-class fisherman, he was a market vendor, a businessman, and a top-class mason. Although blessed with many talents, he had a passion for making fishing nets. Even so, he make one for each one of his grandkids. One of his major hobbies were fishing, and he was always the brains behind every fishing mission. He would always say, stand up, through there, you will see, you'll catch all the fish right there. His morning request to anyone going on the road would be our newspapers. He loved to read our newsday. He was quite the intelligent man, as he would read the entire newsday, and yes, that probably included the ads. But he was more so keeping up to date with current affairs. With Papa, it was not just about work. This man was a limer, a drinker, preferably white oak. He was a dancer, a lover of music, and he also loved tassa. If you were ever privileged to taste his hand, you would know that that man could make a curry. He loved to cook. He knew the balance between work and fun. And if you ever met him at the bar, he would automatically become your friend. But not just a friend for that day, but a friend for life. Ramdeo, Dos, Papa, hero, however you knew him. We can all agree that if a quote were to describe Papa, it would be this. A jack of all trades, a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Papa, wherever you are right now, know that you'll be missed dearly by your wife, your children, grandchildren, and everyone else. And though our hearts are hurt now, we find comfort in knowing that you are now at peace in a place where there is no more pain. And on behalf of the family, we would like to thank everyone for their support, not just today, but throughout all the past few days. And we appreciate the support, and we thank you for coming on.
Okay, thank you very much, Brandon, a grandson. You have heard much from him about his late grandfather. I believe you have someone else who would like to express some sentiments. Ari?
As I look around here today, I see a lot of family and friends and close ones who are come here to say farewell to this wonderful man who we all come to know and love so greatly. He was my beloved uncle, one of the best beloved uncle I've had, and I can say I will truly miss him. He was not only an uncle to me, but a father figure as well. And it saddened my heart to say goodbye to this man who has taught me a lot in life. And I want to say thank you for all the valuable lessons you have showed me to become what I am today. And although you're not here, but I want you to know I love you very much, and I appreciate all the times and the memories we've had, and it will always be with me. May God rest your soul. I love you, and thanks.
Thank you very much for those sentiments expressed. He has been born and bred in this community of Brian Trace and Beach. If anybody from the community wishes to express any sentiments, please, I invite you to come. It's open. Okay. Take a flower in your hand. I want to ask you at this time once more, let us stand please. Again, if for any reason you can't, stay seated. As we close our ritual, this Antyesti sanskar here at the home, we'll be journeying to the cemetery in a little while. We offer a prayer to the Lord, and this is what is important, prayer. Whatever faith that you may belong to in your way, please call upon the Lord to shower His grace and mercy upon this atma or the soul. We also ask the children, the grandchildren, take care of this dear, goodly lady that you now have in your care, right? All you have obligation to her, to care for her now. And we know that all you will do that. So we ask the Lord that, O Lord, O Prabhu, you are the master of the universe. Listen to a humble prayer and humble request. For one who has no other hope and support, kindly accept him at your feet. Even though in life we do good, we do bad, please forgive the wrongs. Again, the currents of the waters of this world are treacherous and deep. A boat is needed across. The pathway to your consciousness, your name, worship to you makes this trip easier. O merciful and compassionate Lord, your beloved Father, have mercy on this Atma or soul. With your mercy, that freedom from the cycles of births and death can be easily achieved. O Lord, take care of this departed soul. Be pleased to keep it as your servant. We as your children, we pray on its behalf. Hari Om. Sri Krishna Chandra Maharaj Prabhu बिनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र महाराज प्रभु बिनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए जिनके कछु और अवलंबन ही तिनके चरणन और रखिए रखिए इसके अवगुण बहुतेरे है यही बार क्षमा करिए करिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र महाराज प्रभु बिनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए यह मृतक जीव को सुधारो गति निज दास बना और रखिए रखिए कोई पुत्र तुम्हार करे बिनती निज धाम इसी को चाहिए चाहिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र महाराज प्रभु बिनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए बिनती इतनी सुनिए सुनिए. A poet has put some beautiful words together describing an individual like him. He said, though your smile is gone forever and your hand we cannot touch, still we will have some memories of the one we love so much. We will think of you in silence and often speak your name. All that we will have are memories and your picture in a frame. Our hearts still ache in sadness and our silent tears flow. For what it meant to lose you, no one will ever know. Your memory will be our keepsake with which we will never part. For the Lord has you in His keeping, and we are always going to keep you in our heart. Om Anadhinidhano Deva Sankachakra Gadadhara Akshaya Pundrekaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Krishna Krishna Kripalu Tvam Gati Nangathir Bhava Sansara Magnanang Prasira Purushottamam Om Tat Sat Pretatma Shanti Tat Sat Pretatma Shanti Tat Sat Pretatma Shanti Shanti Shanti. बोलो श्री राम नाम सत्य है सब ही हो घट है. Please be seated. A final few minutes of viewing. Who would like to pay, have your last view, pay your respect? After which we have a ritual to do at the entrance. and then we are going to leave for the cemetery.
Navin Lalu Streaming Network for live streaming of any event featuring multiple camera angles, clean audio, video and photo slides. For information, call 335-0205. Navin Lalu Streaming Network, bringing real-time events to you.